Hey, everybody. Haven't made a video in a long time. And I first and foremost wanted to say that I'm excited to connect with all of you. I hope everyone's staying safe and just living the best life that you can live so far of what you know and where you are, and continue to wish to grow. And I hope that people are experiencing happiness throughout their day and can find so many things to be happy about if we only take the time to look. But isn't that always the case? I wanted to make a video today just because I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and whatnot. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel really confused a lot of the time, especially just kind of like what's going on with conspiracy theories and what's going on with the election coming up. And then people posting things about prophecies in the Bible or revelations, the apocalypse. And so I just wanted, I was inspired to kind of take a quick look at just the apocalypse in a generalized view. And first and foremost, I just want to say that I'm not an expert in any of this. I am not an expert in theology. I have never read the book of Revelations other than some excerpts here and there. I don't study it, and it doesn't make me any sort of person that you should like say, oh, he's telling us the truth. I just want you to know that this is what I was kind of inspired to look at, what I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, so the word apocalypse in Greek means a revealing, and so for me, that was the first point that a revelation or the book of Revelations doesn't necessarily have to be all fire and brimstone. That there was kind of three main thoughts, and it's not exclusive to these three thoughts, but for the book of Revelations, what did it put? It said from preterist, which is the apostolic age, the first century, or they believe that the book of Revelations was talking about the fall of particularly the Roman Empire. Futurists tend to believe that the book of Revelations is talking about future events that haven't happened or that a lot of people are talking about we're going through them right now. And then symbolic belief system is that the book of Revelations is more of an allegory of a spiritual path and the struggle internally in people between good and evil. Now, that being said, I wanted to share that because it goes to show right there that we all have a different interpretation of what this means. So to automatically assume that the book of Revelations is that we're in an end times where we're going to have this great upheaval of sorts, where there's going to be a lot of death and famine, and people are going to be saved while others are going to be left behind. That there's already three main groups that differ in how they interpret the book of Revelation. So to me, that kind of dispelled a lot of fear or worry, because I have seen a lot of posts about repenting, which means to change the way you think. And for me, I'm more of a symbolic believer, that when they talk about, fires on the earth, for me, the earth was symbolic for the human body, and fire tied to the emotion is ignorance. And so I could see that at this time, there's a lot of ignorance within each person, and that from a spiritual standpoint, we're going through this kind of transmutation of energy, of emotion, where we're trying to come to an understanding of what's going on. And right now it's very confusing. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, we can see that it is confusing because we're having information just tossed left and right. And everyone, a lot of us, including myself, get information from social media, and it's important to be able to maybe read or view information, take a step back from it, don't identify wholly with it, and don't just run with it, but to ask yourself for guidance on how to discern what holds truth and what holds lies. And for me, I've actually found that there's a lot of mixture in everything, that everything has ego and spirit in it. Even the stuff that I post, I think I'm doing something spiritual. I want to share information like this video. There's a mixture of my ego that is subtly playing a role behind the scenes that I'm not aware of consciously, that's manipulating how I'm saying things, my facial expression. If I'm pausing too long, if, what I say, how I say it, it's in the background constantly manipulating. So even stuff that I post that I think is like, sweet, man, it's good information, it's going to help somebody. It has a mixture of truth and lies in it. And so that's very important, at least for myself, to understand, something that I've had to learn over the last couple of months, and why I haven't posted a lot of things, because I'm realizing that if I'm not very careful with what I post, I'm being more divisive than unifying. And I think we all want unification right now, but we struggle, especially for myself, with trying to be right, that we sacrifice our unification for just being right. And in the long run, all we're doing is dividing ourselves more and more. And so I just look at that when you look at Dr. Emoto's water crystal experiment as well, and we can see that our emotions are tied to how we feel and what we experience, and our inner states are reflected by outward reality, then yes, to an extent, the book of Revelations, if it is a symbolic allegory of our spiritual path internally, if we experience a lot of strife and upheaval internally, and a lot of pain and anger and ignorance and resentment, and we feel those feelings, and we don't transmute them into a deeper level of understanding of what they could be, then yes, on an outward appearance, we're going to experience that in the physical world. And so you're starting to see that a lot too, where there's a lot of this stuff going on, because internally, we are being bombarded with a lot of negativity, a lot of negative images, a lot of just fear about what's going on, and uncertainty. And so we're feeling that a majority of our day, and we're not transmuting or shifting our awareness to a way to perceive that on a higher level. And it is affecting what we're experiencing outwardly. So this might be a bad example, but just remember, people prospered during the Great Depression. So what I mean by that financially they prospered while millions of people were suffering financially. That's, for me, analogous to what's going on spiritually right now, is that yes, we're in a time where we're experiencing a lot of confusion and whatnot, but there are people, in spite of what's going on, that are prospering spiritually, that they're growing spiritually, and that they're coming to a place of love, regardless of how the external environment or what they're experiencing every day might say otherwise. They're finding peace within themselves in spite of that. So I would suggest that no matter what's going on in your life, maybe start writing down what's going good for you, and you're going to start to realize that our brains are tricking us into believing that everything is worse than it really is, when really we have an opportunity to spread a lot of love and joy to people and to ourselves. So sorry if that went a little long. I had it in my mind it was going to be about 2 minutes, but I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you later.